Hello and good morning, good evening, good afternoon to my lovely listeners, wherever you're listening in the world. For this episode, I was thinking about the subject and the topic of purpose. The purpose of life, the purpose and the reason we are here on the earth, and they are all connected, but in the same time they are not the same. And the topic of purpose, of what's my purpose in life, is regarded differently to the topic of why I am here. So the why I am here, why I am on this earth, is what brought me here. What is the reason the humanity, the people are on earth. And the purpose of my life, to me, goes deeper into the subjective of I am already here, so that's stated, regardless on why I am here and how I came to this earth. There is life in me, and then now what I am doing with this life. I've got it now, and I have a certain time from here to there, right? And what is going to make my life richer, happier? How am I going to be? And there is so many, obviously there are books about it, and there is so many talks, because on one hand, when we don't know that, when we are unsure about what is my purpose, or when we think that there is our purpose, that everyone has got purpose but not me, all those kind of negative thinking of I don't know what I should do with my life, or the things I am doing, they are either boring or they have no meaning. The meaning is another thing that kind of goes with purpose. So the purpose needs to bring the meaning, and vice versa. The meaning is the purpose. And then the other thing that comes into this is happiness, is joy, or like some theories say, the lack of sadness or the lack of dissatisfaction, because it's also not possible all the time to always experience happiness and always experience joy. So the lack of sadness or the lack of unhappiness is also a state that we would like to be in. And the more I thought about it, the more I agree with the statement that I just feel that it's right. I just feel that it's right for me, and I just feel that if we understand it more, it would help us to, first of all, overcome those moments when we are feeling that there is lack of purpose in our life. The first purpose and the first meaning, the biggest meaning of everything, of why we are here, is to be. This is the main thing. To be, to live, to, and then there come different kind of levels of this, that almost, when I was thinking about it, is almost as if you don't have to do anything, as physically do things, see people, go to do errands, earn money, make yourself better, develop all those things, make a family. All those things, as obviously this is what life consists of, and for some is to a greater degree, and for some is a little bit lesser degree. Obviously it depends on us, but everything is there. But the thing that kind of is a foundation for all of this, if we take a step back, is to be, is to live. And the the real amazing statement that I've taken, and it's from the book of Conversation with God, I believe. And the God, just to note, the God is the divine. So the religion has taken the name God and kind of made it itself, and it does not have great connotation. The word God doesn't have good connotation. It just reminds us of religion, kind of crosses and other symbols. But I'm talking about the God as a divine, as a eternal love, and everything else that you can think of that it means to you. If or the God were there, or not even if, the God was there, the divine was there in the very beginning, and the divine wanted to experience itself, because that's the nature of life and love and light, experiencing everything that there is. And that's how we came from the divine. We came from the source, from the God, from the eternal life, love and light. We are experiencing life as it happens, as a divine, as parts of divine, in different forms, in different places, in different parts. And that's what we are doing. And the experiencing, we have senses, we have yes, we have the spirit, we have the body. We live in the 3D world that was also created to experience. This world is beautiful, is also hard, and it's also sad, and it's also magnificent, and it's all of those things that we are experiencing in our life. In one day we can experience so many things just by being. Obviously then there are interactions with other beings. For each and every other being, this experience of life is different. We are experiencing life in one way, and it's so much different to the other person that experiences life. Even though we're experiencing the same life, we live, I don't know, in the same neighborhood, or we live under the same roof, or we work in the same place, or we gave birth to this other being, or this other being, other people gave birth to us. Or we live in different countries, but we share the same sun, we share the same food, or the same country. Or if we are in a different country, we share the same continent. So there's always things that we experience and see which are the same, but we experiencing them inside us in a different way, depending on how we were built, depending on what our way of life is, depending on so many other things. But this is life. Life happens here and now, and this is the purpose. This is the purpose. The purpose is to be. You don't, and then from that you can make it obviously as many other things as you like. But the main thing is the things that you're making, the things that you're giving meaning to, or I am giving meaning to, like work and creation and social connections, relationships, developing myself, making myself better, making myself happier, collecting things that make me happy, right? Or going to places that I've never seen again to make me happy, to grow. These are all great, and these are very much helping me experiencing and being. But in the core of that, in the the deepest reason of that is that I am alive, I am living, and that's the I know it's a colloquial thing, but that's the main gift that we have. And there is no thing like wasting your living, like wasting your time, because everything that you are doing at this very moment is what you are supposed to do. It's one way or another is going to take you where you are supposed to be. It's very hard, and because you have this, or many probably of you have got that especially that we are so exposed to what other people are doing, right, through social media, through the constant source of information that coming in, and very often is about who achieved what and how to achieve more, and also the life in itself is about growth. It's not stagnation, right? When there is stagnation is kind of as an element of withering. The constant growth, the constant growing is about moving forward or moving sideways, whatever it is, but it's move. Is the same as the cosmos is still expanding, so everything is growing, but in the same time everything inside us is dying. So these are those two forces that are present, always present, and it's not that one force is better and the other force is worse. If there was no dying, there wouldn't be any growth. Every time, every minute, lots of our thousands of our cells are dying for the other cells to be born. So also understand this element of dying in being alive, that those two things coexist all the time with itself. But obviously the nature, the force, and because we are alive, we want to grow, we want to develop. So, and the growing and developing is very similar. Maybe I have to think about it a little bit more, but it's very similar to almost having more or being more. And this more can sometimes be, let's say, ditch everything, leave everything, sell everything in the city and move to the countryside with bare nothing. But it's not always with just I don't know, your dog or your pets and having very little. But it's not only about the possessions, about physical possessions. It's also about is mainly really about the growth inside you. So moving to the countryside, being close to nature, expands your universe, your mind, your thinking, and gives you more again of this personal development, of the space maybe in the mind. So the more can be anything, and I think that the way when you are stagnant and maybe thinking of and you might think about wasting, is when you turn yourself off and completely shut yourself down and maybe spend time mindlessly on a task, which is like scrolling. I can't think of anything else really, because everything else, being with yourself, thinking and doing those mindless tasks, sometimes like cleaning, for example, cleaning around the house, or just sitting, or reading, or contemplating, or tending to your flowers, I don't know, sewing, things like this. These, although they are tasks, and sometimes maybe you can say, you know, I don't give a lot of meaning to this activity in the great scale of life. It doesn't matter. It has to be done. This is still living. This is still experiencing. This is still using your body in different forms and in different kind of terms. And while your body is busy with this task, you are so concentrated on this task, and in this very time, this task, your body doing this task, is a whole world. That's the whole experience, and that's life happening with you, through you, on you, around you. And this is the biggest meaning anything can have in this very moment. while we give a meaning to, I have been to this amazing conference and I've been facilitating this, and I have been a speaker and I've changed lives of many people because I've said this and that, and then I made £1,000,000. This is very important. This gives you joy. This gives you satisfaction. How long for? How long for? So many people said, it gave me satisfaction. This is what I wanted. And then I wanted to move to something else. It gave me satisfaction for a week, for a month. And then I wanted to do something else. I wanted something extra. I wanted more. I had another plan. And that's how it goes. So cleaning the house, let's say, being in this moment, can really give you the same level of satisfaction sometimes we're going out and speaking at this conference, if you allow it to, if you give it a little bit more meaning of, this is how I am experiencing life. There aren't levels of this is better and this is worse, and this is going to enrich my life so much more, and this is not going to enrich my life, and I am nothing, zero, because I don't speak up in front of millions of people. This is your life. This is your experience, and only yours. No one else is experiencing the life like you are while cleaning your house, and the whole world at this very moment in the same way, having the same emotions, having the same feeling. This is your life. Your life is important, and it's only there for a fraction of time. I wanted to say make the most of it, but it's in this kind of context, you make out of this as much as you like, as much as you want your experience to be, and whatever your experience going to be, that's what it's going to be. And obviously we can say people have regrets, they didn't do this, they didn't do that. I was listening to this podcast, the lady was speaking who was taking care of dying patients, and a lot of those patients were talking about the regrets they had, or she was asking them, and a lot of those regrets was about love and relationship, and sharing more time with your partners, with your family, spending more time doing joyful things rather than no one really regretted that they didn't spend enough time at work. This is something that if we remember that the main purpose in life is living, right? We can still have regrets, because sometimes we're not always sure of, and this is kind of people's they always will have regrets, basically, or often will have regrets. The life is so wide and so full of possibilities, and nowadays even more possibilities than ever, because our lives are much longer, the family lives longer, right? The world is wide open because we can travel wherever, and it seems that because we see so many people experiencing their lives, we think, oh, I would like this to be my experience, I would like that to be my experience, can I not experience is like that? It seems. And through social media, all those lives obviously look so beautifully, or might look beautifully, or so kind of controlled, and people living their purpose in life. Now we know that that's not always the case. Very often that's not the case, and we see people who might seem to live very fulfilled life. And achieved a lot in the achievement in terms of achieved things like recognition and some awards. They've done books, and their life should be successful, and they should be happy, and yet they aren't. I'm not saying that you understand that living is your purpose of life and you're always going to be happy, because like I said in the beginning, the happiness state that we always strive to be in, the joyful and the ecstasy, that's not how life is. I think you'd go mad if you would go in a state of ecstasy always, or like a elevated state. I something happened in my life, and maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, and I was very elevated, and I was elevated to the point that, and excited, and I was so elevated and excited to the point that I couldn't sleep, because the excitement kept me awake. I was like yes, just very energetically charged. I guess it was happiness, but it was also kind of butterflies in the stomach. So the joyfulness, it wasn't like full, it was a little bit of agitation, and to the point that I was so tired that one day I walked into the wall. Like, I thought that's the entrance to the room, and I just walked into the wall. And when I walked into the wall, I realized that I am so tired from this excitement, from this elevated state, from this joyfulness. I need sleep. I need to go back to not being so excited, because people cannot live like this. You need some calmness in your life, and to be calm, there has to be some stability and balance, right? Even with joyfulness. So going back to the purpose of life and reminding yourself that being is the purpose of life, living, experiencing. An experience can be done. I've seen this post on Instagram about being in awe. So seeing things. So the lady there was seeing. She was on the walk in the seaside, and there was a moon and the sun in the same time, and it's amazing to see those two things, to see those two astral bodies that we so depend on, and they rule our lives. Obviously, without sun there would be no life. Without the moon is influencing the whole ecosystem and the whole bodily system, especially with women. So there wouldn't be life on earth, and they being together in this kind of evening orange sky. This is an amazing thing to see. And what you do then, you stop and you admire, and that's living. That's living, my lovely people. The admiration of things, the miracle that we are here to admire that. And I think I will finish on that. There is so much more to say on that, but I really invite you to just think about that, and while you're doing your mundane tasks daily, and be grateful. The being grateful part, that you get to experience that, is a very important task, also. So all the best, and I speak to you soon. Bye bye.